do you get when you mix Midna with Machete? You get Lelith Hesperax, Queen of Knives by Mike Brooks. Welcome back, Battle Brothers and Battle Sisters. This is Ave Dominus New back again with another Black Library book review. And before we get into it, please like the video and subscribe. My current Audible wish list is bigger than Trazen's gallery inventory list, and I need you to be here for the ride. So let's get ready to stand in midnight clad. Lelith Hesperax is one of the hardest baddies in the entire 40k universe. She's been the top dog in Commora's arena for the last 10 millennia, and she's got one of the best witch covens in all the city to back her up. She leaves Commora to go help the Inari with their goal of shitting on Slaanesh. But while she was gone, her witch coven gets blacklisted, and a childhood rival rises in her place. She has to go back to Commora to protect her sister Succubi and try to outmaneuver the schemes of the diabolical Azrael Vecht himself. So let me tell you about what I liked in the book. The Inari seem really awesome. I don't have any experience with them, and I kind of have a synopsis of what they're all about, but Mike Brooks' depiction of their squad seems really OP for some reason. Having Lelith around is already kind of messed up because she's probably one of the best pound for pound hand-to-hand combatants in the known galaxy, but you also have a Phoenix Lord, Jane Czar, there, infamous for killing off some of my favorite characters. Then there's this aspect warrior for Crone Sword who just pops up only when he's needed, like some type of silent phantom. Then you got the Priestess of Death herself, Ivrain, and her former teacher, both of them also with very powerful seeming Crone Swords. I know the Inari book series was canceled, and they're not super popular amongst the community, but this gallery of badasses makes me want to go back and read the whole thing. The fights are well described. Mike Brooks did a very good job with the fights in this book. The descriptions of their battles and skirmishes, this is the meat and potato of the book. And this isn't just bulger porn at all, it's knife porn, which is totally appropriate for the Dark City. Brooks gives us so much detail about every dodge, parry, and kill. The last fight in the book was so good that my heart was actually beating kind of fast while it was happening. Learning about the witch covens was cool, but they really just focused on that. So even though this is a Drukhari book, I don't think I learned a whole lot about Commora that I didn't already know. In fact, I learned more about the Drukhari in the Big Daka than I did in this book. That was also Mike Brooks. Just maybe he's going to be the premier Drukhari guy for a while, which is okay with me. Azrael Vecht is actually in the book, and he's one of my favorite characters in Emperor Texas Speech. I finally get his canon self in an actual novel, so how he is, what he does, and how he's portrayed in this novel, I'll have to get to that in a minute. The story itself is only okay. It's real predictable, and I don't really feel like too much was invested in the characters. Perhaps the difference between this and the books I really like is that there's enough support characters to help develop the plot, but there's someone to relate to and contrast with the main character to create more dynamic relationships. This book does a better job of that at the very end, but for the most part, this was just blade porn. Come here for the action if that's what you're primarily into. Another problem I have with this book is how much Lelith actually refers to herself as the Queen of Knives in her narration. I wasn't counting, but I feel like she said that shit like at least 15 times. This person thinks they can beat me. They're crazy because I'm the Queen of Knives. How dare you talk to me that way? Don't they know I'm the Queen of Knives? You want to use a serrated knife instead of a cleaver to cut up that prisoner. Take it from me, darling. I'm the Queen of Knives. Halfway through the book is like, I get it. You're the matriarchs of Shanks and Tiny Swords. Good job. I think the biggest problem was actually the lack of intrigue in this book. For Azrael Vecht to be the villain, everything was very straightforward, and for the most part, Lelith was able to stab her way out of most problems. It's kind of disappointing in that way, even though I really love the combat. I'm going to talk about a little bit of spoiler things. I don't have that many spoilers to even reveal in this book, so tread with caution still if you want to come in 100% fresh. The Drukhari have like this very anime tsundere way of dealing with love and relationships. We saw in the Big Daka, even though the Archon really respected and was attracted to our rival, they both still had to put on like it was just business, which it was. Lelith and her rival, Morgana, have a similar dynamic, but the hostility is a lot more open. Their renewed rivalry in this book pits them and their covens against each other and climaxes, excuse my phrasing, with them having a straight up knife fight to the death. When they realize they can't kill each other, they turn on Vecht and force him to leave them alone. Even though he still comes out looking like he got what he wanted, the women continue their relationship knowing that they're the only ones allowed to kill each other, and they'll stop anyone else who tries to take that from them. Murder pack girlfriends, I like to call them. Speaking of Vecht, I was still disappointed. Like, he just wasn't as much of a mastermind as I thought. It just seems unrealistic to me that Lelith could get the upper hand on him while he's supposed to be this manipulative super genius. And even though Lily admits that political battles are not her forte, I can see her kicking his ass, sure, but it'll take a brand new novel for Vec to make up for this one. Overall, I give Lelith Hesperax, Queen of Knives, a 7 out of 10 Eldar girlfriends. The battles were great, the setting was amazing, and I really enjoyed the dialogue overall. However, Lelith glazing herself, Vec being dumb, and the plot being not very complicated for the situation kind of took away from it quite a bit for me near the end. So that was the video. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell me what you thought about the book, and also, what kind of Eldar girlfriend would make the best girlfriend or boyfriend? You know, me personally, I think I'd take an Exodite. That way I could ride her dinosaur and she could ride mine. But that's just me. This is Ave Dominus Noob saying Ave Dominus Nox.